Hello everyone, welcome back with me Bella Shafira. Today I would like to share you the answer of my final exam at Organizational Behavior class. My student number is B1024181001. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to Mr. Adi Mursalin as a lecturer of OB, and thank you so much for all my friends because all of you always support me in the class. And for final exam, it will be divided as three parts: part A, part B, and part C. Let's begin. Part A, there is question related to the activities at Zoom meeting. Question number 1. Explain what you have done at Zoom meeting at oblique class for one semester. So, at oblique class for one semester, I have learned many things because at oblique class, we learn from Zoom or online learning. And Mr. Adi asked us to make a group, and each group will present the material. Start from chapter 1 is about what is organizational behavior until the chapter 15 is about leading change and stress management. And in this class I also learn about practice my ability in English, especially in speaking, because I always get the opportunity to ask the presenter and give my opinion, because at the presentation there is Q&A session. In Q&A session, there is a question that asked by the presenter, and we have to answer the question, and also there is study case and the opportunity to ask the question for the presenter if we are not understand yet. And also for OB class, I always think that Mr. Adi Mursalin and all my friends always motivate me to uh, increase my ability in English, because we know that for this class we always give our opening and closing remark. So this is, I think, good way to motivate us to always increase our ability in English. And as we know that for OB class, we always try to use the advanced technology. So we learn from Zoom, and then we use WhatsApp, and we use YouTube to for the mid exam and final exam. And we move to the question number 2. Are you active in attending the class at Zoom meeting? Are you active in discussing the topic delivered by the presenter? So about the attending of the class, I think for this one semester, I quite active. I active in attending the class at Zoom meeting, because I just ever absent one times. That is the class before mid exam. But for overall, I always attending the class, and I present I always present because I want to learn and get experience, especially from my friend point of view about OB, about the material, and so on. And for the discussing the topic delivered by the presenter, I think I'm quite active, because we know that sometimes I answer the question from the presenter, and then and I ever ask them something that I think I'm not understand, but I want to know the answer. So I ask the presenter if I have opportunity. I mean, if the presenter choose me to ask them. And also we know that like I said before, we have the closing remark and opening remarks. So even though I ever I ever not give the opening remark because I come late to the class, but I always give the closing remark. So I think I'm quite active, but not really active. And we move to the question number 3. How many chapters are presented at OB class via Zoom? What have you presented during your OB lecture via Zoom? What knowledge have you got from presenting your OB topics? Who is the best presenter? Give the reason to your answer. So I think, as we know, during this one semester, Mr. Adi asked us about have to make a group to present the material that start from chapter 1 until chapter 15. And the chapter is, like I said before, chapter 1 is what is organizational behavior, and chapter 2 is about personality and person environment fit. Chapter 3, emotion and mood. Chapter 4, attitude and job satisfaction. Chapter 6 is perception, decision making, problem solving. Chapter 6 is about leadership. Chapter 7 is power and politics. Chapter 8, motivation core concept. Chapter 9, motivation application. Chapter 10, group process and team. Chapter 11, managing conflict and negotiation. Chapter 12, organization communication. Chapter 13, diversity and cross-cultural adjustment. Chapter 14, organizational culture. And the last chapter is leading change and stress management. So for my group consists me, Mehua, and Pelagia. We presented the chapter 11 about managing conflict and negotiation. So what I got from this topic that I deliver to my friends, we know that we cannot we always face the conflict, but what we need is we have to manage the conflict. And one of the one of the tool to manage the conflict is truth negotiation, because negotiation is can solve the problem without make the new problem. So what I can and also what can I get from the presentation is about OB is defined as the study of individuals and their behavior at work, because we know that there is many people at the organizational and we have to understand them through the OB. And we know that in this study, there is multidisciplinary and multi-level research, include psychology, cultural anthropology, communication, and sociology. And also, there is critical thinking. Uh, like as we know that critical thinking is a mode of thinking about a problem, so we can face the problem and improve the quality of the process by taking control of it and applying rigorous standard. And I think for the best presenter, I there is uh, a group consists Robbie, Felicia, and Celine. Yeah, we know that Felicia and Celine and Robbie have good in speaking English and always optimal when they are present the material. And also I think because they are always attractive when they present the material, and they are always focused to present a presentation with the brief and clear point instead of long definition, but there is no main point because it will make the audience get bored. So they always give the focus relax material to us, so we understand but we are not bored. And we move to the next question. How does OB lecture for one semester impress you? And deliver your closing comment by mentioning the benefit and the knowledge you have got from the attending the OB lecture via Zoom. So during this one semester, I think my lecture impressed me very well, because one of the thing that always give me this is OB class. What is that is, of course, like I said before, we always get the opportunity to increase our ability in English. We speak because, like as we know, if we are not try to always speak in English, our English is will be not good, like bad English. So like why I choose the international class, because I want to learn about English. I mean, I want to looking for the environment that can support me in increase my ability in English. And one of the part give this is OB class, because OB class always motivate us to always speak, and so our English can better. And sometimes a lecturer also giving the material and the video through through WhatsApp. Sometimes Mr. Adi give us the book or like journal, website, or like video on YouTube, and all of the topic from what Mr. Adi gave us is about OB. So even though we already have the material from the presentation at the class, we also give the additional knowledge about OB through what Mr. Adi sent through uh, WhatsApp. And I'm quite interested about the material that all my friends give to us and what Mr. Adi give to us, because like I never learn about all of that. So this is good. This is good experience to me because I can gain so many knowledge. And the lecturer also gives some question and gives some reward for anyone who can answer the question. And uh, I think that is a good way, because Mr. Adi always appreciate us if we active in the class. And for the benefit, what I got is of course the knowledge. The knowledge cannot, even though we pay to attending the class, I mean we have to pay, but the benefit and the knowledge can is worth it, because we cannot get uh, all of that if we are not at the class. And about the closing remark, I just want to say thank you so much for Mr. Adi and all of my friends, because all of you always support me to get so much knowledge. And we move to part B. At the part B, there is question related to OB theories. Question number 1. Would you rather work in an organization with a theory X, theory Y, and theory Z style of leadership? Give reason for your preference. So from the three theory, I would like to work with theory Z, because we know that in this theory combine the XY theory, I mean the Japanese style, and there is because is about Japanese style business leadership, I expect the employees can be loyal and have good performance. And some of the people said that if you are the theory Z, you can be a refinement of the theory Y in motivating employees. And also for this theory Z views, all of the employee needs is as a driving factor for work motivation is not limited to physical needs, but also we can driving factor for work motivation through security and certainty. And as we know that all of the company always that have the theory that uh, they are always concerned about welfare and fulfillment of the employees needed. The needed is about the mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. So I think that's a good decision if I want to join the company that work. I mean, that's a good decision if I want to work in organization with theory Z. And we move to the second question. What are some of differences between the classic bureaucratic model as outlined by Max Weber and the other more alternative model? So as we know that one of the model is the classic bureaucratic, and that is outlined by Max Weber. We know that bureaucratic model classic bureaucratic model is about the management style focus on hierarchies like seniority or level in tech job roles. And we know that is the classic model of bureaucracy is typical called the ideal Weberian model because it's from the Max Weber, and it was the and also some people say that an early German sociologist. We know that Weber argued that the increasing complexity of life will simultaneously increase the demand of citizens for government service. So that's why this classic model of bureaucracy is one of agency from there are one in which I can see is a political hierarchically organized and governed by formal procedure, and also about the individual are hired based on the qualification, and then they can promote as they prove value and advance skill on the job. And for the other more alternative model, I think there is scientific theory by Taylor. This scientific theory is based on using data and human strength to increase output. Not only that, but this theory also use a tracking system in order to know the performance job of the worker. And we move to the third question. Describe three theories of leadership and provide example for each. So as we know, there are so many theories of leadership. But we just choose three theories. First is the threat theory. We know that the threat theory is a leadership state that certain natural qualities tend to create good leadership. And also in the threat theory, it refers to people who inherit certain qualities and traits that make them better suited to leadership, because in this theory we always identify a particular personality or behavior characteristic shared by the leadership. For example, like a self-confidence, and we have to trait like extroversion, and some leader may be excellent listener or communicator, but not every listener or communicator makes an excellent leader. And the second theory is the grid man theory. We know that the grid man theory is the leadership state that excellent leaders are born, not developed. So a popular concept, this popular concept in the 19th century, state that leadership is an inherent quality. But based in this theory, it refers to great leaders are simply born with the necessary internal characteristics like charisma, confidence, intelligence, and social skill that make the natural born leader. For the example is can be seen from Napoleon character that leaders were identified by their age and accomplishment. And then we move to the last theory is contingency theories. For these theories is related to environment that might determine which particular style of leadership is best suited for the situation. I mean, in this theory, not leadership style is best in all situations. So we have to understand the situation first, and then we will adjust what leadership style will suit for the situation. For example, is leadership is not just about the qualities of the leader, but about the striking the right balance between behavior, needs, and the context. And the next question. Describe various models of organizational leadership such as threat, positional, and situational theory. First is we know that threat theory refers to people inherit certain qualities and traits that make them better suited to leadership. Why threat theories is better leadership, because in this theory always identify a particular personality, like I said before, identify a particular personality or behavior characteristic shared by the leader. And the second one, there is charismatic leadership. I mean the charismatic leadership is leadership that comes from God's grace, where the leader has extraordinary abilities. It means they have strong magnet and strong emotional attraction from those who are led as the leader. For example, we know from our first president is Bung Karno. And the last is situational theories. For these theories, refer to leader choosing the best course of action based upon situational variable, as I said before. So in this theory, in a situation where the leader is the most knowledgeable and experienced member of a group, an authoritarian style might be most appropriate. Meanwhile, where group members are skill expert, a democratic style would be more effective. And then we move to the next question. How does the organization culture influence the employee performance? Explain your answer. Your answer must be supported with a journal related to the question given. Say the author, the problem statement, and the research method, and the finding of the research. So the journal I choose is the title. The title is Organizational Culture and its Impact on Employee Performance and Job Satisfaction, a case study of Niger Delta University Amasoma. The author is Ekpenyong Nikerawem Stephen and Ekpenyong Alfred Stephen. For the what is organizational culture in this journal, organizational culture is pervasive and powerful. For the organization, we know that the companies and business, it is either a force for change or a definite barrier to it. For the employees, it is either the glue that bonds people to 10 organization or what drive them away. Organizations today are increasing challenge with changing their organization culture to support ways of accomplishing their work. Organizational culture plays a very significant role in an organization, because we know that organizational culture is a well-recognized measure which help in understanding the organization process stability from for the employees incentive, encouragement, and containment with their job. And also about the statement problem, the concept of organizational culture has drawn attention to the long neglected subjective or soft side of organizational life. The problem then is how can organizational culture be established and maintained to improve employee performance and job satisfaction, and what is the impact of organizational culture on employee performance and job satisfaction. For the objective of the study is the primary objective of the study as follows is to explore how organizational culture influence job satisfaction and its subsequent impact on employee performance, and to assess the relationship between job satisfaction and employee performance in the context of organizational culture. And the last is to more formulate recommendation regarding organizational culture, which will help tackle human resource related issues in the organization. And we know that in this journal talking about the organizational culture, what is organizational culture? There is no single definition for organizational culture actually, so the topic has been studied from a variety of perspectives ranging from disciplines such as anthropology and sociology, so to the applied discipline of organizational behavior, management science, organizational commitment. In the course of this research, we are going this journal going to look at some definition given by some author from the applied science discipline. One of that is from Moorhead and Griffin from 1996. The author said that organizational culture will compel to develop their own definition of culture. This may vary from the very broad very broad definition to the highly specific. Most definitions refer to some of values, belief, and attitude that are held by individual and the organization. One the another definition is from Saint is in the 1996 um 1999. It defined culture as a pattern of shared basic assumption that the group learned as it solved problem of external adaptation and internal integration that has worked well enough to be considered valid and therefore to be taught to new member as the correct way to perceive, think, and feel in relation to this problem. In the last decade, it has been used by some organizational researcher and manager to indicate the climate and practices that organizations develop around their handling of people or to refer to expose values and credo of an organization. And for the wait for the impact of organizational culture or employee performance, as we know that early studies have indicated that there is a relationship between organizational culture and employee performance. Organizational culture is inherently practice, therefore employee performance is conditional on organizational culture. According to the Hellriegel and column in 2009, organizational culture can enhance performance at a large scale. And according to them, the culture of an organization allows the employees to be acquainted with both the firm's history as well as current method of operation and the specific direction, and though the employees with guidance about expected and accepted future organizational behavior and norm. And for the type of organizational culture created in an organization determine the impact it can have on employee performance. It means it can have either a negative or positive impact. For instance, an organizational culture where employees are considered an integral part of the growth process of the organization foster employee performance. This is so because the employee align their goals and objectives with those of organization and feel responsible for the overall well-being of the organization. As the effort and in turn appreciated by the management and suitable reward are given, they perform effective and efficiently. In such organizational culture, the employees are committed to achieving their goals and thus it has positive impact of the overall performance of the organization. So the organizational culture to a large extent determine the performance of employees. Therefore, it is in interest of organizational to eliminate negative feature that slow down employee performance in order to foster a positive work place environment or a positive organizational culture. For the research methodology, uh, this journal study is focused on Niger Delta University. Niger Delta University, located in Wilberforce Island, Bayelsa State in Nigeria, is a Bayelsa State government-funded university. It was established in 2000 by Chief DSP Alami Shegia, the then governor of Bayelsa State. The university is located in Wilberforce Island, about 32 kilometers from the state capital Yenagoa, and is made of three campuses. The Glorioland campus is main campus, and the College of Health Science campus, and the campus of Faculty of Law. The university there is 9 faculty in this university, which is Faculty of Agriculture, Faculty of Art, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Engineering, Faculty of Management Science, Faculty of Pharmacy, Faculty of Science, Faculty of Social Sciences, and Faculty of Law. For the research design, a design is the fabric and core methodology piece of the study, as it provides the specification on how associated hypothesis and the concept and construct have been tested and a satisfactory conclusion drawn by the Ahonis and Aina in 1996. And according to the Kinnear in 1989, a research design is the basic plan which guide the data collection and analysis part of a research project. It is the framework which specify the type of information to be collected and the sort of data collection procedure. It is the researcher plan of action for collecting data, answering questions, and testing the hypothesis generated. It provides the procedural outline for the conduct of any investigation, and a descriptive survey design was used for this research. This enabled the researcher collect original data from a population too large to observe directly. And the metadata of the collection, the data for this research was collected from both primary and secondary sources. The primary data used for this research was gotten from the structured questionnaire administered to the staff of the institution, and the questionnaire used for this research contained close-ended question. The respondents were given a number of alternatives from which they selected option they considered appropriate. The questionnaire comprised of three sections: section A, B, and C. For section A, focus on the personal information of respondent, and section B comprised of questions that focus on the knowledge of organizational culture, and the last section is focus on the impact of organizational culture on employee performance and job satisfaction. The secondary data used for the research include textbook, journal, article, and other online sources. And for the result is, we know the study is an investigating the impact of organizational culture on employee performance and job satisfaction. And this journal, we know that organizational culture is the norm and values shared by members of an organization that control the way they interact with one another and stakeholders outside the organization. So the study revealed that organizational culture foster performance and satisfaction of employee. In other words, it has impact on employee performance and job satisfaction. Further, it was discovered that organizational culture determines if the level of employee performance and job satisfaction either increases or decreases. From the observation and finding, this can be said be true because the type of organizational culture practiced in the organization determines the relationship between the employees and the manager. The communication pattern in the organization, how acquainted the employee is with his or her job, and how they are motivated. All this affect how the employee will perform and how much satisfaction is derived from his or her job. And finally, the study also revealed that an organizational culture that encourage the employees to be innovative and good reward or motivation system sees the employee as a part of the organization and includes him or her in decision making process, tend to experience increased performance and satisfaction level of employee, which will in turn lead to high productivity of the organization. That's all. Next question. What is stress management? Is stress management important to the study? Why? How important is stress management for you as a manager, a student, as a child in your family? How do you manage your stress? So we know that stress management is a broad spectrum psychotherapy and technique aimed at controlling a person's stress level, especially chronic stress, usually for the purpose and motive of improving daily functioning. And we know that the stress management help us to break the whole stress as has on everybody life, so we can be happier, healthier, and more productive. And the ultimate goal of stress management also to balance life with time for work, relationship, relaxation, and fun, and the resilience to hold up under pressure and meet challenges head on. And for the importance of stress management as a manager, of course, stress management can control all of the people's stress, even having so many assignment of homework as manager, student, or child in a family. So the stress that we get if we can manage the stress, we can get some fresh air or can feel relaxed, and also we can do some our hobbies in spare time. And also we know that stress management consists of making changes to our life. And uh, I if we are in constant stressful situation, preventing stress by practicing self-care and relaxation and managing our response to stressful situation when we do occur. And we know that stress management is important because it will help to break the whole stress. And as a manager, I think it's important too, because it can reduce by asking my supervisor opinion and find a seminar that will motivate me. And also I can ask my friends, or I can ask my colleague that help me to reduce my stress. And for as a student, it's important too, because I think stress management sometimes we must do some exercise. And the problem sometimes we have perception that the exercise is hard. So by the stress management, I can give relax. I mean, there is refreshment to my mind, like talking with my friend and share our stories each other. And for as a child in my family, I think a stress management can give me relaxation. After I do my course, I can listening the music, like do my hobbies. And actually my manage to my stress, for example, like finding the motivation from the video, from the book, or asking my friend. And the last is about doing something that I like my hobbies, playing music, sing a song, or watch a movie. And we move to the next number. Number 11. No, number 7. Explain the difference between good stress and bad stress. We know that a good stress and bad stress is different. The differences, of course, about the action that can help motivate or inspire us, or it can be called as our stress. It is the good stress. For the good stress, it can actually help us to push us to get some time, or can be set as challenge by choice. But it different, because bad stress is referring to psychologists distress that influence our mood, poor concentration. And also for this, bad stress is a kind of thing that will become obstacle when we are not doing anything, because we have like motivation and cannot do anything. Too much stress will involve our mental health, get sick, something like that. So bad stress and good stress is different. Is change important in your life? Why? How do you lead your change? Give the example for the question number 8. So I think change is important, because like me, I don't want to stuck at one place. I don't want. I need change. So change is important, because change will help us find a new step. For us to take something, change can be good or bad. It depends on how we react about the changes, and how we can adjust or not. And in addition, we can stay change is good when it gives us a positive impact. But if there is no benefit, I think the changes is useless. For example, we want to change to be a good person and needs to take a time and get used to the situation. Sometimes it will be hard. We can lose. But if we doing it, uh, doing it, if we always do and always try, never give up, the result will be better. And next question. You have studied 15 chapter on OB book given by Mr. Adi. How do you find the book on OB used in learning OB? How does it contribute your study performance? Among the 15 chapter you have studied, which chapter is the most difficult to understand? Why? Which chapter is the easiest? Why? Which chapter is the most interesting? Why? Why knowledge have you got from studying OB in the semester? Will you apply the OB theory in your life at work? Why? So much question, but it's good. So actually, I got the ebook from Mr. Adi Mursalin via WhatsApp because, like I said before, for this class we use WhatsApp, YouTube, and Zoom. Mr. Adi sometimes give us book, journal, and YouTube link. So for the book, we got from the ebook that Mr. Adi Mursalin sent via WhatsApp. Mr. Adi Mursalin sent us an ebook to learn about the material of OB, which the title is Essential of Organizational Behavior and Evidence by Best Approach. Beside that, I also find some article in Google that may support me to understand some explanation in the book. Actually, the ebook had been given before. It will help us to learn about OB because the book is complicated, like always is so complete. From that, we have a support media like an ebook. Beside that, to maximize it, sometimes I find some like website or watch video and read some journal or something like that. Not too much because I think I need another media that can support me to understand about OB well. So based on 15 chapter on the ebook that we got from Mr. Adi Mursalin, actually chapter 1 is difficult to me because we know that the chapter 1 is what is organizational behavior, because this is the define like the basic of the organizational behavior. So I think I need to really understand, because if you want to move to the next chapter, if I'm not really understand about the chapter 1, I cannot understand well to the next chapter. So that's why I think the chapter 1 is important to understand well. And the topic also, we know that organizational behavior of for organization that consists many people inside. So I think human is so difficult to understand, and this is organizational. Yeah, you know that is so difficult, I think. And then for the top, Sir Adi and friends always give the additional explanation after the presentation, so I think can support me and help me to understand well for each chapter. And about the easiest chapter, I think the easiest chapter, of course, about the easiest chapter is my and for the easiest chapter, I think is my chapter 11, because we know that from we are growth, and we as human, we cannot go from the conflict. So even though we are not learn how to manage the conflict, actually then we can solve the problem naturally. But if we study about how to manage the conflict, I mean we can solve the problem well. I mean, can be efficient and effectively to solve the problem. So I think it's a quite easy chapter. And about the interesting one, I think the interesting of course is about the chapter 3 about emotion and moods, because yeah, like I said before, human is difficult to understand because we have emotion and moods. Like me, a girl a girl is always related about emotion and mood. So in this chapter, uh, can be the interesting one is because it will impact the job performance, and sometimes emotion and mood is a gesture or signal that tell us about their self in a day. So I mean, the moods will affect the emotion, because when people is not a good mood, it will affect the emotion. And for during one semester, I think I learned so many things, and I got so much knowledge, and I can learn about the personality of worker. And like I said before, the interesting one is about the mood, emotion, attitude, and also about job satisfaction, about the culture, and so on. The knowledge that I got, I hope I can implement it when I already have work, or I can implement it when I in my organization. I think the knowledge that I get from this class will be so useful. Of course, is of course useful when I work in a company in the future. And we move to the part C. So the part C, we have to find two videos on organizational behavior. So we have to choose two of 15 chapter provide on OB if given, and you must mention the speaker and what the speaker explain on what knowledge you can get from the watching the two videos. Like I said before, one of the difficult chapter is chapter 1. So I want to looking for the videos that related to organizational behavior. What is organizational behavior? So in this video, is talking about what is organizational behavior. The speaker is great learning. The speaker explain organizational behavior, and then the OB model, organizational success, the importance of OB. Like I said before, I need to understand OB well. In this video, they tell us about the benefit of OB. And OB is a scientific discipline that study the behavior of individual and group of organizational structure in organization, with the aim of increasing employee job satisfaction, productivity, and organizational effectiveness. So from this video, I can get the knowledge how to improve employee job satisfaction, productivity, and organizational effectiveness. And the second video is about, like I said before, what is one of interesting chapter is about emotion and mood. So the speaker is Professor Gerdes. The speaker explained us about the differences about emotion and mood, because actually some people think that it's the same, but actually it's different. The moods which is emotion as a part and parcel of who we are, and they cannot be spread from the workplace. This is part of brain system that will affect us, like there is a limbic system or emotional, and prefrontal cortex rational. Meanwhile, emotion will be divided as six, such as anger, fear, sadness, happiness, disgust, and surprise. And there are sources of emotion and moods, such as weather, personality, day of the week, stress, social activity, age, sleep, and gender differences. And emotion have relation in thinking and feeling that decide someone to make a decision. And for the emotion type, such as felt display, or we know as surface acting and deep acting. So they are my answer for my final exam. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope all of us can understand more about organizational behavior, even though the class already finished, already over, but we can still learn from all the thing that my friends and Mr. Adi shared to us. And thank you so much for Mr. Adi, and thanks so much for my friends, and thanks so much for you because you watch my video. Thank you. I hope it can be beneficial for all of us. Thank you. Love you. Stay safe and stay healthy. Stay safe and stay healthy.